This is China's largest electric vehicle production base, a super factory built by BYD at a cost of $12 billion, covering an area of more than 3,000 acres, equivalent to the size of 1,700 standard football fields. According to the plan, this factory can produce up to 1 million electric vehicles per year. But you may find it hard to imagine that in such a huge factory, on average, a brand new electric car will roll off the assembly line every 30 seconds. This efficiency is rare in the more developed factories in the world. What's more interesting is that this super factory can also be called a living community. At present, there are about 63,000 employees stationed here, and they can also bring their families to live and even work together. BYD has enhanced the sense of belonging and stability of its employees in this way, thereby cultivating a loyal and stable team. In today's video, we will take you to the world's largest electric vehicle superfactory to see how BYD has achieved the efficiency miracle of one car off the line every 30 seconds. At the same time, we will also talk about why was this super factory built here? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. You may not know that as early as 1995, the Chinese built the first electric car, but no one took it seriously at the time. After all, China hadn't even figured out fuel vehicles at the time, let alone something as high-tech as electric vehicles. Many people thought that Chinese electric vehicles would not pose any threat at all. But who would have thought that in just over a decade, China's development of new energy vehicles would shock the world? In 2008, China's annual sales of electric vehicles were only 2,400, but now their annual sales of electric vehicles have exceeded 7 million. In just 15 years, electric vehicle sales have increased by a full 3,000 times. And since 2015, they have been the world's #1 country in electric vehicle sales for 7 consecutive years. Of course, now China's electric vehicles are also beginning to enter the overseas market on a large scale. In 2022, they exported a total of 680,000 new energy vehicles. But a year later, this number increased by 77.6%, and the export volume reached 1.2 million vehicles. These new energy vehicles are exported to Europe, Asia, Oceania, America, and Africa. Among them, Europe is the largest export market for China's pure electric vehicles. In 2023, China exported a total of 640,000 pure electric vehicles to European countries, accounting for 41.27% of the total exports. But the reason why Chinese electric vehicles are popular overseas is mainly because of their low price and stable quality, which is suitable for most families. Moreover, in Southeast Asian countries such as Thailand and Singapore, many consumers will even queue up overnight to buy a Chinese new energy vehicle. But you may not know that the reason why Chinese electric vehicles have developed so rapidly is largely because they're also produced very quickly. Among the many electric vehicle brands in China, I think the most famous one is BYD. In 2024, BYD's annual revenue has exceeded $107 billion, exceeding Tesla's $97.7 billion in the same period. By July 2025, BYD's exports of new energy vehicles in the first half of this year have reached 470,000 units, a year-on-year increase of 132%. According to the current development momentum, BYD's overseas sales are expected to exceed the 1 million mark by 2026. However, BYD's goal is far more than that. In order to further expand production capacity and enhance global competitiveness, they invested $12 billion to build the world's largest electric vehicle production base in Zhengzhou. As far as I know, this electric vehicle superfactory is located in the suburbs of Zhengzhou, China, covering an area of more than 3,000 acres. Since the construction started in 2021, the construction of phases I to 3 has been completed and put into use. Now, these areas are mainly used for the production of new energy vehicles. In addition to the assembly of the whole vehicle, BYD Electronics is responsible for the Phase 4 project, which mainly builds a chip factory. It will specialize in the production of automotive-grade chips, covering about 90% of the chip demand for new energy vehicles, including key core components such as IGBT and MCU. In the next 6 months, BYD also plans to complete the construction of phases 5 to 8. Once completed, it will become one of the world's largest electric vehicle production bases, capable of producing at least 1 million new energy vehicles a year. But in addition to its large scale, an electric vehicle can be produced every 30 seconds. So, how does BYD achieve such amazing production efficiency? As far as I know, in the super factory, there are a total of 16 fully automated production lines running around the clock. From welding the chassis to installing the blade battery system, almost every link is highly automated. Take the stamping workshop as an example. The entire process is basically completed by mechanical arms and industrial robots, which quickly press pieces of metal plates into various required parts. After stamping, these parts will be automatically transported to the next process, high-precision blue light inspection through a crawler system. This link is mainly used to identify whether the parts have dimensional errors, because even a small deviation will affect the quality of the entire vehicle in the future. Next is the welding workshop, where hundreds of parts are welded by robots into a complete frame. The body in white that has been welded will be temporarily sent to an automatic three-dimensional warehouse, waiting to enter the next process. Before the formal painting, the body must first undergo a process called electrophoresis treatment, which is equivalent to giving the car a primer to prevent rust and corrosion. Although it sounds complicated, the whole process only takes 3 seconds to complete. Next, the robot will be responsible for spraying sealant, and then the vehicle will enter the final assembly stage. Final assembly is one of the most sophisticated links in the entire process, and thousands of parts need to be assembled one by one, such as glass, chassis, batteries, etc. In particular, the installation of batteries requires very high dimensional accuracy, and even a small error may affect the performance of the entire vehicle. After the entire vehicle is assembled, it will also go through a test link called OK line. Through this test line, the system will conduct a comprehensive static inspection of the appearance, electronic system, etc. of the entire vehicle to ensure that each vehicle meets the standards before leaving the factory. When all production processes are in progress at the same time, it only takes 30 seconds to complete the production of an electric car. You might think that a highly automated place should be cold, mechanical, and impersonal. But in fact, the BYD factory in Zhengzhou is not like that at all. There are more than 60,000 employees living and working here. For their daily lives, BYD has built a series of facilities in the factory area, from employee dormitories, primary schools, clinics, to gyms and parks. Employees do not have to commute every day, but can reach their posts in a few steps. They are on call at any time, but they can always stay with their families without having to leave their familiar life circle. Such an arrangement invisibly cultivates a sense of belonging and stable loyalty. Moreover, BYD's ambitions do not stop there. By 2026, it plans to expand the scale of employees in the Zhengzhou factory to more than 200,000 people. This number has exceeded the permanent population of many cities. But do you know why BYD chose to build such a super factory in Zhengzhou, China? Zhengzhou, a city located in central China, is very convenient for transportation such as railways, roads, and aviation. At present, there are hundreds of highway lines alone, which can well cover the entire central region and even further. BYD's electric car factory is located very close to the international airport. The products they produce can be quickly shipped to all parts of the world to meet the needs of the global market more quickly. In addition, the construction of Zhengzhou International Airport has also entered the sprint stage. The investment amount of this project is about $700 million, and the planned area is 75,000 acres. The goal is to build a modern, international, world-class inland port. By May 2025, the overall project has been completed by more than 92%. After completion, BYD's logistics efficiency will be improved, which can reduce transportation costs by at least 25%. But most importantly, there are rich mineral resources near Zhengzhou, including lithium, cobalt, nickel, and rare earth elements. These are all important materials for the production of electric vehicle batteries. BYD not only mines these resources itself, but also builds processing and refining facilities near the factory. This sophisticated layout also gives BYD a certain advantage in cost and pricing. For this city, after the BYD vehicle production base was officially put into production, it quickly led to the gathering of upstream and downstream related enterprises, gradually formed a relatively complete new energy vehicle industry chain, and brought great economic benefits to the local area. Of course, the local government also signed a strategic cooperation agreement with BYD to fully support BYD's landing and development in Zhengzhou. In order to promote the construction of the Industrial Research Institute, the Zhengzhou municipal government has also issued a series of specific implementation plans and management methods, such as scientific research funding subsidies and other policies, which have effectively provided strong policy support for the BYD Industrial Research Institute. But perhaps you don't know that before BYD decided to build this super electric vehicle factory, Western countries, especially the United States, had already begun to target and suppress Chinese electric vehicle companies, especially BYD. For example, on September 13, 2024, the United States suddenly announced that it would increase tariffs on electric vehicles made in China to 100%. Not long after, the U.S. Department of Commerce proposed to ban smart connected vehicles from using software and hardware from China on the grounds of so-called national security. Obviously, the purpose of this series of operations is to restrict BYD and prevent its rapid expansion in the global electric vehicle market. However, these measures did not have the effect they imagined. By May 2025, BYD has reached an important moment in the European market. Its monthly sales in 16 European countries reached 12,363 units, surpassing Tesla's 12,264 units for the first time, and it has maintained its lead for 2 consecutive months. At the same time, BYD's pure electric vehicle registrations increased by 397% year-on-year, and the market share of hybrid vehicles also exceeded 12%. This shows that BYD's products are becoming more and more attractive to European consumers. In order to expand overseas markets, BYD has also been actively deploying global business in recent years. In order to ensure the supply of lithium resources, it has won mining rights in Chile and Zimbabwe, stabilizing the key raw materials of batteries from a source. In Europe, BYD is investing $1.3 billion to build a new factory in Hungary, targeting the entire European market. In South America, Brazil has become BYD's next focus, and the two sides have signed an agreement to invest about $600 million to build an electric vehicle factory. This project is called the BYD Brazil Production Base Complex. It includes 3 industrial plants, one dedicated to the production of chassis for electric buses and trucks, another for the production of new energy passenger vehicles, and a plant dedicated to the processing of lithium iron phosphate battery materials. Among them, the new energy vehicle production line can produce both pure electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid models. When all are completed and put into production, it is expected that about 150,000 vehicles will be produced each year. However, the most surprising thing is the construction speed of this project. BYD took only 15 months from the official start of construction to the first car rolling off the assembly line. So, have you ever sat in or driven a BYD electric car? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic.